starts now.
People always are convinced that their state has the worst drivers until they go somewhere else and visit another place. This is one way to quantify that.
Well, that quantifier shows North Carolina has some of the worst drivers in the country. And tonight, data proves just that. Good evening, and thanks for sticking with us here at 7:30. This week, LendingTree released its new report showing the best and worst drivers by state this year. When looking at the data, North Carolina listed 6th in the nation for worst drivers. LendingTree says there are just over 39 incidents per 1,000 drivers. South Carolina doing a little better, ranked 18th for worst drivers, just over 27 incidents per 1,000 people. Now, when we talk about driving incidents, we're not just talking about crashes.
Incidents include things like speeding or other types of violations where you might be pulled over for, say, an unsafe lane change, or distracted driving falls under incidents as well as speeding.
Rob Bott with LendingTree says they were able to gather all of this data through insurance inquiries, crashes, and other incident reports. We posted this article with the study on our social media pages like Facebook and Instagram, and a lot of people left comments said, yeah, they agree, or said they weren't surprised, and they added a laughing emoji. Well, some people blamed drivers from other states for our problems. Well, no matter who is to blame, this still impacts you and your wallet when you shop for insurance.
Has a little bit of an impact, sure. If you have a clean record, you're gonna qualify for the best rates. But if you're in an area with high crash rates, you'll pay a little bit more than, say, someone in an area with very low crash rates.
Yeah, so even if you have a clean record, you could still pay more for car insurance if you live in an area with more crashes. Bankrate says the average cost of car insurance in North Carolina is just over $2,000 annually for full coverage. And it's about $612 annually for the state-required minimum coverage. Bankrate says people who pay the most for car insurance in North Carolina, well, as you'd expect, new drivers, those who are just 16 years old. Last year, teen drivers were involved in about 17.6% of the state's total crashes. The state hasn't released this year's crash data yet, so going off 2023, the biggest contributor to crashes in the state was reckless driving. That includes being careless, negligent, or just too aggressive behind the wheel. Now, some drivers think they're the exception to certain driving laws, like speeding, if they're in a hurry to get somewhere, whether it's work or an important meeting or an appointment. So, what if we think about it this way?
Well, there's plenty of evidence out there, too. You aren't really saving any time. You might be a few seconds here and there, but you're not saving hours in your day by speeding and doing those kinds of things.
You know, the couple minutes you might be late to, the couple minutes you shave off your travel time is nothing compared to the few $1,000s or more that you might have to spend to fix your car or to just, you know, take care of the other expenses that can come with irresponsible driving.
Of course, there are other factors that contribute to incidents on the road: distracted driving, speeding, driving while impaired. That list goes on and on. So we wanted to go one step further. Why is North Carolina so high on the list for incidents compared to other states? Are other states doing something we're not doing to keep their roads safer?
Things like speeding tickets, for example, some of that is dictated by enforcement. Some states have stricter enforcement of speeding laws. Same goes for DUI. And these are good things because they get people to slow down. They get people who are engaging in dangerous behavior to stop doing that, ideally before they can cause an accident or hurt someone else. But, you know, of course, accident rates, that means that for whatever reason, the person actually did crash. And, you know, that's something where North Carolina ranks 6th. Yeah. With about a 26.4 per 1,000 driver rate or so. And that's on the high side. That's something that's particularly troubling.
So you heard Rob Bott there mention enforcement as a reason some states do better than others. And that led us to a Facebook post we saw over Thanksgiving. A driver snapped a picture of this contraption. It was along I-77 around Statesville. The post said it was an AI-powered camera that targets truckers who may have a hand off the wheel or maybe not wearing that seat belt. Well, you may have seen the post and you wondered to yourself, is that fake or is that fact? Well, we reached out to NCDOT, who then sent us to Highway Patrol. And they told us it is, in fact, cameras on the lookout for distracted truckers and those not buckled up.
The camera system itself is comprised of 4 cameras. a color overview camera, a plate camera, a shallow camera that looks straight into the cab, and then a steep camera that looks behind the dash for the observed infraction.
Yeah, you see that there. Highway Patrol sent us this video. It's produced by Accusensus. It's the company that developed the technology. So here's how it works. After the infraction is captured on camera, the information is sent to a spotter about a half-mile down the road.
And what happens is, based on the vehicle speed calculated by the radar, it will give us an approximation across this bar of when that vehicle will be at our location. Here's a good example of the ETA timer in action. The system saw this bus coming. It's going to be here in about 15 seconds. This ETA timer gives us an elapsed time of its arrival based on its speed at the camera location, and we've programmed that we're about 800 meters down. That vehicle should be here in 3, 2, 1, and there it goes.
Pretty wild, right? So with the vehicle then verified, the information then is sent down the road to a trooper who can do the intercept. This safety initiative started last year in July. 3 of the devices can be deployed across the state. And check out this graph from Accusensus. The number of seatbelt and handheld phone violations per month soared. Seatbelt violations went from fewer than 50 to more than 200 in the first couple of months. Mobile phone violations went from a handful to more than 150 a month. So all totaled over the last 18 months, 2,500 seatbelt and 1,100 distracted driving violations have been cited statewide. Again, these are just being used to enforce the rule for truck drivers, but now you know what they are. So if you see one, keep that in mind. And to help make our roads safer, we can avoid reckless driving even if you're in a hurry. Always be careful when you're out on the road.